Good evening from Europe. It's still 12th of May 2020. Piotr here. This is Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, guys. US cash session is closed. A little bit of the counter move. Looks like some bears woke up in time. Anyway, what we are going to discuss post US cash close, we are going to discuss next important calendar event, and in that case I'm talking about the New Zealand Central Bank rate decision. We are going to have that one at 4 a.m. CET, meaning 4 a.m. in Europe. Overall, like the Warsaw, for example, right? And we are going to get the official cash rate, monetary policy statement, and rate statement. Then 1 hour later, 5 a.m., so getting closer to Tokyo close, we are going to get the RBNZ press conference. That's very, very important, and it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how the New Zealand dollar is going to behave based on the comments, based on the statements. Well, I'm very, very curious what we are going to see. So without the further delay, let's have a look what we have when it comes to the particular charts. Well, without the things related to the pandemic, right? Without this uncertainty related to the pandemic, I would say that based only on the chart, based only on the technical stuff, right? This is the monthly chart. This over-under, which been discussed quite a few times, right? Already been hit nicely. So, well, let me change the color for you to be much more visible. So overall, this monthly demand zone is here with us for quite some time already, right? The top of that zone, it was based on the possible over-under, right? And the bottom, right? So actually we are trading around the top of that, but we also place the 50% of that range, right, which was related to some activity around that level in the past, right? And guess what? That was the sell-off low. That was the sell-off low. Almost, based on the monthly chart, almost to the peep. Almost to the peep. But that's the old story where we are right now. I think it's gonna be better if we are going to switch to the weekly chart. Here we should have, I would say, the better view. In my opinion, as of now, taking into the consideration what is going on worldwide, it's not gonna be mistake to treat the New Zealand versus USD this type of the range, right? So taking into the consideration the high before this huge sell-off, and taking into the consideration post sell-off low, right? So in that case, as you can see, right here, right now, we are almost in the middle of that range. We were trying a week ago and 2 weeks ago right, 2 weeks ago, week ago, to push higher towards possible supply, hidden supply, right? Looks like we missed by a few pips, especially 2 weeks ago. The lower shadow didn't quite get there, right? But this particular week, as you can see, Monday and today, Tuesday, we are trading below the weekly open. Could that be Wednesday reversal, meaning that we are going to see higher level? Well, I'm not gonna be surprised, especially that there is the market expectations are no change. So you know, unless we are going to get very dovish statement, yes, actually New Zealand dollar might rally a bit, and where it could be, well, the low here on the weekly 61.90.62 in that case. So if that's the weekly, we are going to make it that way, and I'm going to, yeah, it's not gonna be dotted anymore. So that's the possible rally for the Kiwi, right, towards 0.62 when it comes to the weekly chart. Let's have a look what we have. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the daily chart. Here situation looks a little bit different, especially if we are going to take into the consideration this supply, right? So what we have here was drop, base, huge drop. So what we are testing right now, we are testing the possible base, the possible supply, right? As you can see, a few days ago, upper shadow, there was attempt to move higher. For me, it was some kind of the stop hunting, rejection. Now, this high and this high giving us some kind of the over-under when it comes to this upper shadow, right? And moving lower. The last piece of the puzzle here is this rising trend line, and we are trying to attack that trend line, but for now it holds, right? So overall, to the upside, I see this 61.90.62 as the possible supply. To the downside, levels close to the 0.60 as the significant demand. Well, uncertainty here, but versus dollar, I would rather look for the failure to the upside somewhere here, right, and looking for the selling opportunity. But if you are New Zealand dollar bull, then I would think about the trading versus the neighbor, right? Australian dollar in that case, huge rally. Long term, yes, I'm still bullish here. We were discussing a few times in the past, but right here, right now, when it comes to the weekly chart, we are testing supply. We are testing the powerful candle, and in that case, I'm going to use that particular example as the opportunity to invite you to watch the educational video, actually last 3 educational videos when I'm talking about the particular powerful candle and how to behave when we have that one in place, right? So we've seen the quite huge rally on the weekly chart. We hit the high 2 weeks ago. Previous week was lower high. I'm very curious what's going to happen here. So we know where we are when it comes to the weekly chart. Let's put the zone, weekly chart, blue zone, and let's switch lower to the daily chart, right? I like this possible liquidity pool when it comes to that high, especially that from the daily chart, right, we have some supply a little bit higher towards 107.50, 108.20. That's the zone, right? So what I would like to see, short term, spike higher, 758.20 as a rejection, and then I would like to see retest of that zone. So we are talking about the possible pullback towards 105, maybe 104.50, right? So if you are looking for possible Kiwi short position, that might be versus US dollar. If you are looking for the Kiwi dollar possible long position, that could be versus the neighbor, versus the Australian dollar. I'm going to make an update if necessarily post RBNZ decision, right? So stay tuned. But if you are if you are going to trade New Zealand central bank rate decision, be careful, don't be trapped. Possible higher volatility, meaning your exposure should be a little bit lower. Guys, it was my pleasure again to make the update for ya. Have a good one and see you around. Take care and goodbye.